They said it wouldn't last. Two young hearts with no money, no experience and no idea what marriage really meant. But sometimes love doesn't need to understand everything, it just needs to stay. Zainab and Musa got married very young, so young that the world around them couldn't help but doubt. What do they know about life? They will learn the hard way. And life did not disappoint. From the very beginning, Archie became their closest companion. Some nights, dinner was nothing but hope and water. Other days they laughed through empty pockets. At least hunger keeps the body light, Musa would joke. And somehow they would both laugh. Both because even when everything else was empty, their love was still full. But not everyone saw it that way. Zainab's parents watched from a distance, worried, restless. One afternoon, her mother called her aside. My daughter, marriage is not meant to be suffering. Come back home before this hardship consume you. Her father's voice followed. You deserve better than this. Zainab lis ten, she understood their fear because she felt it too. The hunger, the uncertainty, the quiet tears at night, she felt all of it. But that evening, she returned home and saw something simple yet powerful. Musa sitting quietly trying to fix a broken chair with nothing but rope and determination. No complaints, no excuses, just effort. And in that moment, Zainab didn't see poverty. She saw a man who refused to give up. And so she made a choice, not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. I'm not going anywhere. Days turned into months and the struggle didn't get easier, it grew. And with it, the pressure from her parents. Desperate to save her daughter, her mother made a decision, one she believed was right. She went to a herbalist, bring her back to me, she said, by any means. But sometimes are not controlled by human beings. That very night, Zainab fell into a deep sleep and in her dream she found herself standing at a crossroad, one path wide, bright and easy but empty, the other narrow, rough, uncertain, but at the end of it stood Musa smiling. She woke up with tears in her eyes and peace in her heart. Whatever was sent never reached her because sometimes God steps in quietly and says, not this one. And then in the middle of their struggle came a blessing. Zainab gave birth to a baby boy. Musa held his son and cried like a child himself. See, he laughed through tears. We are rich now. We have a whole human being. And just like that, joy found its way into their home. But not every heart softened. Instead, her parents grew colder. You have chosen your path, her father said, stay there. And just like that, she was disowned. It hurt more than she could explain. Some nights, Zainab cried silently, rocking her baby to sleep, and beside her was Musa, trying in his own way to hold her together, sometimes with words, sometimes with silence, and sometimes with small silly jokes. One day he would say, we will laugh about all this, maybe not today, but one day. And strangely she believed. Years passed slowly, quietly. The same man who owns tight chair with rope began to learn to grow, and the woman who owns had nothing began to build with strength, with patience, with faith. One evening, they sat outside their modest home watching their child play. Imagine, Zainab said, if I had left you because of empty pocket. Musa smiled. Then who would be eating my famous burnt rice? It's still burnt, she replied. Consistency is important in marriage, he said proudly. And they laughed, the kind of laughter that only comes after surviving storm, because in the end their story was never about poverty, it was about choice. Zainab chose love over comfort, she chose faith over fear, she chose to stay when living would have been easier. And sometimes the place that looks like struggle is where your greatest story is being written.